Okay, so now what I'm going to do? Let's hide some body parts. I'm just going to quickly hide those. Okay, great. And let's do something here so we can see what the hell I'm doing. Layouts, 2 panes, stacked. Okay, so I can rotate around this one. And I'm just going to go here and put on X-ray joints. You'll see in a second what's going to happen. And I can do the same thing here, X-ray joints, little button. That's also under shading, X-ray joints. So I'm going to zip over from modeling into rigging. And when I'm in rigging, I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints. I don't think there's anything in here special that I've got to do. Just reset the tool. Default settings are great. Great. I love them. Okay. And I'm going to put down a joint where I'm looking for kind of the center of gravity. Okay. I'm going to say somewhere there-ish. Okay. Just before we get to the abdomen and not quite on the thorax. They're going to be almost right on top of each other. There's thorax there. This is really hard to see because my joints are very, very tiny. So I'm just going to go here to display animation, joint size. Make them big. Okay, great. That should be more than enough. Okay. And there's 2 on top of each other. You can just barely see. If you look, you can see there's something funny like a shadow, a little blue shadow. Anyway, I'm going to go over here, pop another one kind of in the middle. I'll pop one down here at the end. I'm going to tap the up arrow on my keyboard to go to the top joint again. That's unusual. Okay, whatever. And if I was really finicky about this, I could probably put a joint in for every little section on my wasp butt in the abdomen, abdomenium. But I'm going to try and skip that, and I'm not going to get too carried away. Enter. And that should be good. Actually, you know what? Let's just I'm going to do that a little bit different. I'm just thinking. I keep second guessing myself with this. I'm going to use insert joint for a second, and I'm going to pop a joint here, and we'll just see if that actually worked. That's not supposed to work the way that I just did it. Did that just work? It did. I'm just going to select this one and that one. I'm just going to press P, boop. And also, one other thing I should look for right now, just before I bind them, I'll notice that my joints are kind of probably have a strange axis on them. You'll see that there's a blue pointing this way, and then there's a blues pointing that way. So I'm just going to grab this one and quickly, before I bind, orient joint so they're the same. They're all kind of the same. That'll be much better. Okay, and actually I'm just going to grab the root joint, and I usually make the root a little bit bigger. Okay, or maybe should I make it smaller? No, I like it bigger. And you can see the thorax in there. And let's quickly name these things. Go fast. Fast, 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 fast. And here, let's just zoom out a little bit. And so this one here, root underscore JNT. And then we got that should be my thorax underscore JNT. And whoop, let's grab the head underscore JNT. Whoop. And this one here will be the head underscore end underscore JNT. Boop. Done. And then we go over here to these end ones, and these are all part of the abdomen. So I'm just going to use my quick rename Abdomen underscore JNT. Enter. And it did it. This one here, I'm just going to go abdomen end underscore JNT. I almost like, you know what, I almost like the JN or the 4 being right here behind the abdomen. Picky, 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 picky. Actually, I'm just going to do that really quick just because it kind of bugs me. Because you'll see later on, if you're using some other types of weighting editors, that you just want to know what the name is without looking at the very end when they get some kind of, oh yes, number 2. And yeah, you'll get irritated. I get irritated. And 1. Enter. Okay, great. So I got my joints. And what do we got? 445. Okay, good. So the next thing I'm going to do is, and by the way, you can see the X-ray joints is working quite well down here. We're just going to take the root and this body, And let's just go to skin, bind skin, and we're on joint hierarchy. Right now it's not really going to matter much. I might change the maximum influences here to say it 2. Okay, the drop-off rate, I'm just going to leave it alone. I think it's going to do a good job for me in the abdomen. But it probably will not do good in the thorax or head. And we'll come back to the drop-off rate when I do the legs. Okay, let's just make this big. And I didn't hit skin, did I? You fool! Let's try it again. 2. Bind the skinola. There. And let's just grab the head. I'm going to grab the rotate tool and rotate the head a little bit. And you know what? I might just hide my mandibles. I'll bring these back afterwards. Okay, so got my head here. I'm just going to right click and I'll go to Paint Skin Ways tool. Okay, and if I go in, you can select them here, like there's the head joint. I always find it works best if you go like head, thorax, and then stop at the root, and then you go up to abdomen and work your way up. But you can do this however you want. Also, I should probably be in 1, so I'm in the unsmooth mode. I find that easier to work with. I'm using add, got my value at 100%. I'm just going to grab my brush. I hold down B and I can change my brush size. I sometimes find I like that stamp right there because it's a bit harsher. And you can see that when I'm rotating my head, it's starting to make sense. Okay, great. Great. 100%. 100%. Okay, and anything else I want to do in here? Then I'll just head to my thorax, and thorax, weighting this 100%. And I've got, by the way, I've also got on my use color ramp here too, so that's why I'm getting the colors. Okay, because I like the colors. Okay, and I'm only going to do this side of it, right? I'm not going to bother with the other side because I can do the mirror skin weights. And I can't quite see what's going on there, so I'm just going to grab this joint, grab the rotator tool, rotate it over this way, and then I'll look at it, and I'll go in and I'll grab the Paint Skin Weights tool again, and let's see, we can see that there's something white happening here. I'm going to make my brush smaller. Remember, when you're doing this, you're painting over top of the vertices. Okay, and then when I want to get, I want this to go black, really, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the head joint, and then I'm going to add it back to the head joint. Okay, and let's see, what other tricks do we have here? Let's go back to the thorax, see what this end looks like, and that worked out fairly well. Okay, that's good, happy, and I know it. Okay, and let's just grab these joints here, and I'm going to right click, assume preferred angle, so it goes back to normal. And I might just, while I'm painting weights, I know the inner side, in between the neck here, this area is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt, but if I go into skin, and I go to mirror skin weights, and I'll just edit reset settings, and there it is, YZ, positive to negative. I worked on the positive side. I can tell because my axis, it's right here. Okay, and I hit apply, bloop, and then if I went back to the Paint Skin Weights tool, dook, you would see that it's white on both sides. Okay, so painting in the middle here, let's just stop for a second, and there's potentially a lot of weight that I have to do in here, a lot of weighting. What I'm going to do instead is, I've got the little edge rings selected here. I'm going to use, when I use the Paint Skin Weights tool, I can use smooth, but an even better one is under skin. There's a thing called Hammer Skin Weights. And then let's take a look and see what that did for us. So let's go back here, right click, go to the Paint Skin Weights tool, and you can kind of see it's green here when I'm on the thorax. Go to the head, same thing. If I go to the abdomen or the root, of course it doesn't slide them over. Great. That has no effect on this area right here. So that's good. And okay, so now I'm going to start moving into the abdomen here. And in the abdomen, let's close this. You can see, you know what, you can see a lot of things working for us probably really well. If I just grab these 3 joints and I grab the rotate tool, my butt looks pretty good. Oh, you bastard. My butt looks pretty good. Okay. And what happens though when I move my thorax over here? You can see the thorax is having a little bit of an effect on this area here. So let's right click and over top of the root joint, boop, assume preferred angle, everything goes back to normal. What I might do is to get rid of the thorax influence, I'm going to use Windows, General Editors, and I'm going to go into the Component Editor. And in here, I'm on Smooth Skins. And let's go over here, and I'm going to grab these vertices here, this one. Here, let's just go to the Select tool, double click. And here we can see this one's hooked up to the root and the abdomen. Okay, let's check out this one. Double click, root and abdomen. That's really weird. Usually this sucks, and I'm getting, oh, there's thorax. Okay, so we're getting a bit of thorax in here. I'd prefer this to be on the root and maybe a little bit of this other joint here. Let's just go and make this all 100% root. So 1. So I got rid of thorax influence. And what if I go here and double click and do the same thing? Actually, I'll just go here to the root and make it 1. Okay, and then what do we have over here? These are hard to get to. I'm just going to go up here and turn off my joints. So it's easier to go in here and select without selecting the joint. So I got that whole ring, and the thorax is having a big influence there. Let's just go make that 1 for the root. Great. And then I can kind of grab these ones here, and I suspect if I use that trick I just showed you, hammer skin weights, and I do the same thing to those ones, I'm just going to hit G on my keyboard. Basically, with very little effort, I have, let's turn on the joints again, I have gone in here and just weighted that out. Let's just grab this. Oh yeah. There's a little bit too much influence from this here, but it's okay. And then if I go in and grab the thorax, though, is the thorax having any influence back there? No. So there we go. And just grab the root joint again, assume preferred angle. And we're going to call that body done. Actually, while I'm at it, let's go in and bring back my mandibles. First off, I go into the Geo group. Where's the eyes? Let's bring in the eyes. I'll just hit H. There they are. These eyes just need to be weighted to this joint. So if I go in here to Skin, Bind Skin, I'm just going to turn off Joint Hierarchy and go to Selected Joints. So it's just going to be that one joint this is bound to, and I don't have to do any weighting. Okay, and then if I look at my mandibles, let's go and hit... Actually, you know what? I'm going to make that a separate one. We'll stop right there, and I'll make mandibles and antennae in 1.